Hello, this is Mrs. Hannell with your Quiz 10 review. On the first question, we are finding slope and y-intercept of the equation shown below. And so we need to have this in slope-intercept form. That would be y equals mx plus b, where you need to know the slope and the y-intercept. So notice that those are both on the same side, the term with the x and the term without a variable. So we need to move them. We're going to put plus 18x on the left and plus 18x on the right and subtract those. So these go away and you have negative 3y is equal to 18x minus 27. Okay, we still have the negative 3 in front of y, so we're going to divide by negative 3 to get rid of it. And both of the terms on the right are going to be divided by negative 3 as well. And so you have y is equal to 18 divided by negative 3, which is negative 6x plus 9, because negative divided by negative is a positive. Now we have this in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b, and the m is negative 6. So we're going to write m is equal to negative 6. And the y-intercept, right there in yellow, is equal to 9. So the b, or the y-intercept, is equal to 9. All right, next question. Find the slope of a line that passes through the points negative 4, 10 and negative 6, 3. I'm going to go ahead and skip that one so that I do not run out of time. And we're going to go to the next one. Find the slope of a line that passes through the points 6, negative 5 and negative 6, negative 5. So you need to find the difference in your y values and the difference in your x values. This can be from left to right or right to left. You can start with the first point or you can start with the second. But if you start with the first point, then that means that both of those values for x and y have to start from the first point. So I'm going to highlight my values of y with green. My first one is a negative 5, and so I'm going to write negative 5. And my second one is also a negative 5, and so I'm going to put minus sign between that and the next term. And then I'm going to subtract the terms of x, and so I'm going to highlight my x's here. And remember, I started with the first one here, and I have 6 minus a negative 6. So on the top, get rid of the double negatives on the bottom and the top, and make those plus signs. Negative 5 plus 5 on the top, and 6 plus 6 on bottom, which gives me 0 on top of 12. So since the 0 is on the top, that means that m is equal to 0. On the next one, find the slope of a line that passes through the points negative 4, 7 and negative 4, negative 2. We're going to do the same thing and look at when it's 0 and when it's undefined. So the slope is, again, the differences in the y's over the differences in the x's. And so we are going to highlight the y's in green. The y's are 7 and negative 2. So I'm going to be subtracting 7 minus a negative 2. Make sure you have a minus sign in front of that negative 2. Okay, and then I have my values of x that I'm subtracting next, here and here. And so I have negative 4 minus a negative 4. Let's get rid of double negatives here on the bottom and on the top. So it's 7 plus 2 on top, and on the bottom negative 4 plus 4 on bottom. That makes this 9 over 0. This time the 0 is on the bottom, which means It's this little cute thing we remember, no slope. Look at the 0. It's on the bottom, which means that when the 0 is on the bottom, this is undefined. Okay, next question. The graph shows is a direction shown is a direct variation. Find the value of y when x is equal to 12. First of all, let's fix that typo because that is bugging me. That should be shown. There we go. The graph shown is a direct variation. Okay, so we're going to find the value of y when x is 12. So since it is a direct variation, our equation is y equals kx, similar to y equals mx plus b, but it's using a k and we don't have a y-intercept. So what we need is we need to find the slope to plug into the equation. And we can look at the graph and tell that the slope is your rise right there of a 5 and your run of a 3. So 5 over 3 is the slope. Okay, and now to find the x, or to find the y, well, x is 12. Now that you know that it's 12, you can put 12 wherever the x is in your equation, and it's beside 5/3, which means we're multiplying it by 5/3. And so when you're multiplying two fractions, make sure you put a denominator to that whole number. And now you're multiplying numerators. 5 times 12 on the top is going to give you 60, and then on the bottom 3 times 1 is going to give you 3. So this is actually 60 divided by 3. You have a y value of 20. I'm not sure why that turned into a k over there, but that should have been y equals, sorry, because your k was the slope. Next equation, what is the 14th term in the sequence? So we have term and number. Okay, my numbers are 14, 11.5, 9, 6.54, and 1.5. So we have to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then find the difference between them. That is going to be my slope. So since they're going down, it's a negative sign, and it is going down by 2.5 every time. Down by 2.5 every time. And so that means we have a negative 2.5x. This is in our equation y equals mx plus b. That's our slope right there. Okay? So that is the beginning of our equation to find the 14th term. Now we have to know what the y-intercept is. And so y-intercept is where your x is 0. So I'm going to go up at the top and go below the first term to a 0 term, which is where x is 0, and that's our y-intercept. And so we're going to look for the y value, which is where it crosses the y-axis. So if we go backwards, we're going to be adding that 2.5 back, because going backwards we're increasing. So that's going to make us have 16.5. So in our equation, we're adding 16.5 to that. Okay, so now we know that we have negative 2.5, and our 14th term is what we plug in, because that's the one we're finding, and we add 16.5 to that. Okay, so with your calculator, you will be multiplying negative 2.5 by 14, and you will get a negative number. And that number is negative 35 plus 16.5, which gives us the 14th term of negative 18.5. All right, that's all for tonight.